Good morning, dear students. So I am so excited and I am so privileged to be here. Okay. So far we completed 2 terms. So today you are going to learn something new and something different. Okay. So today you are going to learn about third term. I hope and I trust everyone has your own textbooks. So today what I have written on the board, I just want to give an introduction and say about the author what I am going to teach for you. So here third term. So 2 terms are over and this is your third term. So under third term, unit 1, prose, journey by train. Journey by train. You might be excited. What is this? This chapter talks about the journey by train. So who are the people who are going to take a journey or who are going to be on the journey, and what and all is going to happen, and what are the interesting things that I am going to learn? You might be excited. So here I want to say the characters, okay, who are there in this is, here the characters are Mr. Phileas Fogg. Second one, French attendant, Passepartout. Next one, Fogg. This fellow's friend is Francis Coventry. Okay. So these are the characters. So who's the author? Usually someone writes the story. Okay. So we will see about that author, where he is born, when he was born, what and all he has achieved, what and all he has written. We will just see about him. So here the author I have written here. So Julius Gabriel Verne. So he was born on 8th February 1828 and his period, okay, and he passed away in 24th March 1905. So that was his born date and his demise date, that was his death date. His period of time when he lived. He was a French novelist. Okay, how you have English novelist, okay, you have Greek novelist, American novelist. So here we see this person is a French novelist. He has written lot of poet. He is a poet. He is a playwright. Okay, he has written lot of plays, a lot of dramas, lot of poems. So he has written lot of fictions, lot of novels he has written. So he has a lot of his achievements at the back of his name. So he wrote widely popular one. He would have written lot, understand. Among that, which was very popular series was adventure novels. That was his interest. His main thing was about the adventure. He has written lot of novels, lot of stories he had written. So that includes some of them. So I had written 1 or 2. Among that, which was the most, I will just tell you. So the first one was Journey to the Enter of the Earth. That he has written in 1864. Next one, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1870 he has written. Next, he has written around the world in 80 days. That he had written in 1873. So under all this I had told you, he is a very good novelist, I said. So what he has done is, he has written all this. Among that the best is Around the World in 80 days. Around the World in 80 days, that he has written, and that they have given for us for 7th standard as a novel, as a prose, Journey by Train, that they have given. When a second most translated author he is French, he is a French novelist. His books, his stories, his poems, playwright, all that translated into French and translated from French to other languages, he holds second place. So he is called father of science fiction. Okay, he is also called as the father of science fiction. So this is all about this author. So now what you all are going to do is, you all are going to turn to page number 79. They have given about the lesson name. See children, 79, Journey by Train. So in this they have given some instruments they have given. So that what you are going to do is, you are going to see this and write them here. That is just like a little exercise for your brain. So next, turn to page number 80. So in this 80, I am going to read now, okay? Section 1. So, listen to the teacher read this section. So, Journey by Train. This extract is taken from the classic adventure novel Around the World in 80 Days by Jules Verne. An Englishman, Mr. Phileas Fogg, along with his French attendant Passepartout, attempts to go around the world in 80 days in a wager of $20,000. Roughly, it is $1 is 1.6 million today. $20 is roughly today it is 1.6 million today, set by his friends at the Reform Club. So this extract, this story is taken from Around the World in 80 days. So here we see the author is Jules Verne. We had seen here Jules Gabriel Verne. So short we say Jules Verne. An Englishman he is. Okay. So an Englishman. Who's this Englishman? Is an Englishman, Mr. Phileas Fogg, along with his French attendant. So with this Phileas Fogg, with his French attendant, he had travelled to a place. Okay, he had spent lot of money in 80 days. It says around roughly it is $1.6 million today we say. So such a lot of money he has spent on travelling for 80 days. So he has set with his, from where he has set is, he has set from a private members club, Reform Club. So from that he has started his journey. Read this extract where Phileas Fogg travels through some parts of India at a time where the railways were being built in the country. So when you read this, you read Phileas Fogg. He had traveled from some parts of India at a time where the railways were not being laid. When the railways were being laid, it was not like how we have the railways now. It was not very systematic and very functional it was. It was the starting time of the railways. So what he did is, he traveled from ship and he came to India, and with all his friends and his attendant, what he did is, he started going around India. Understand? So some places are spelt differently as the book was written over a century ago. Some names, when you see in this your textbook, some names are totally, the spellings are different, okay? Why it is different is, in those days, as they pronounced, they had written those names. So it was centuries back, means hundreds of years ago, this was mentioned and this story was written. So if there is any spelling mistake, you can just write the new spellings. The train had started punctually. So that means what? The train had started on time. Among the passengers were a number of officers, government officers and merchants. Among the passengers who travelled in the train, other people also were there. They were, officers were there, government officers were there, and merchants, those who had business, trading, okay, those who bought things and those who sold. Understand? So like this, all these merchants people also were there. Passepartout rode in the same carriage with Mr. Fogg. This Passepartout was a French attendant to this Mr. Fogg. He also was travelling in the same carriage, same compartment. He was with Mr. Fogg. And a third passenger occupied a seat opposite to them. So, not only this French attendant and Phileas Fogg was there was another attendant who was opposite to them sitting. This was Sir Francis Coventry. So, that was Phileas' friend. He was Francis Coventry. Okay, he was his friend. So, how many of them are travelling by the train, children? Fogg, Mrs. Fogg, Mr. Fogg, French attendant and Fogg's friend. All these three are taking a journey and they are going to see the whole of India, okay, or maybe some part of India. This was Mr. Francis Coventry, one of the friends Mr. Fogg made on the ship Mongolia that brought him to Bombay. So, this person, Fogg's friend, was nothing other than he was his friend who travelled in the ship all the way from Mongolia. Okay? So, this Mongolian ship carries 16,000 tons it carries, understand? So, what the ship carries is all the mails, letters, parcels, all this, and not only that, passengers also it carries. That means this ship was a very huge, massive, okay, largest ship located in the, so where is this Mongolia? Mongolia is located in the north central part of Asia, not central part of Asia, and this Mongolia, it is an independent country. Our nation is an independent country, the same way Mongolia also is an independent country. So this travels through what? China, Russia, like that it travels. Okay, so that means you would have had some idea or the other. So this is a largest ship, carries 16-ton weight. Okay, an hour after leaving Bombay, the train had passed the bridges and the lands of Saljit and had gone into the open country. So they came from ship, they got on from the ship, and now they started by the train journey. So after an hour, leaving Bombay, the train had passed. So 1 hour they were in the train. The train started to move from the platform. So when the train moved from the platform, after an hour, it passed through the bridges. It passed through the bridges and the island of Saljit and got into the open country. So it had to cross all these places and go to a open country. During the night, the train left the mountains behind and passed Nasik. And during the night, it was a night travel. Understand? So night, what happens when the train had left? It passed through the mountains. Okay? And not only that, it passed the big city, merchandised city, trading city, nice income city, Nasik. And the next day, it proceeded. Proceeded means what? Moved. It proceeded over the flat, well-cultivated country of the Khandesh. So, it passed through the mountains, it went to the Nasik, then the next day it moved or it proceeded to the flat, well-cultivated country. Khandesh, it is a well-cultivated, very rich vegetation place. Okay, so there it passed through. So, with its staggering villages, that means what? Dragging or lagging, staggering trail, okay, which arose. So, here and there villages were there, and lot of temples were there in that place. So, all this, when they traveled on the train, they could see all these beautiful places of Nasik. They could see flat, well-cultivated land. They could see that was Khandesh, and they could see lot of temples arising there, and beautiful temples they could see. This fertile territory is watered by many small rivers and clear streams, mostly tributaries of the Gangotri. So that means fertile territory means rich vegetation area. Lot of farming area was there. Understand, they could see on the train lot of farming areas, and not only that, small rivers were there, streams were there, and lot of tributaries were there from the river Godavari. Okay, that means a river was there, lot of small streams, lot of little rivers and all were flowing through this Godavari. Okay, next page 81. Passepartout, on waking and looking out, could not believe that he was actually crossing India in a railway train. The locomotive, guided by an English engineer and fed with coal, threw its smoke upon cotton, coffee, nutmeg, clove and pepper plantation. So here he woke up, understand, he looked, he could not believe. This French attender, he could not believe, what is this? He just got up and he saw the train crossing through the Indian railway train was crossing through India through some places what we saw before. So it was a locomotive guided, that means what? It was a railway engine. I think it would have been a coal engine, understand, in those days. So it was guided by a English engineer. In those days when the Britishers were there, they were the people who used to drive the railway engine. They were the people who were well trained. So English engineer was the one who was moving this train. So it was filled with coal. Then what happens? Naturally, when the smoke comes out of the locomotive engine, so the smoke comes out, fills all the places where the cotton is grown, where the coffee is grown, cloves, pepper, plantations, all these are done. All this smoke goes on a curled up like a spiral. It goes up like this and it crosses where the palm trees are, and not only that, it crosses some attractive bungalows, viharas, that means olden monasteries where the kings, where those peoples were there, those buildings and all, it crossed through. Not only that, marvelous temples were decorated with a rich work of Indian architecture. So those buildings, those temples and all were very rich. Nowadays also you see the temples, how good carvings are done. Those days also it was like that. Then they came about vast areas extending to the horizon, with jungles where snakes and tigers lived. So again they came to another place in the train. They could see the wild animals, they could see the reptiles there. These creatures fled at the noise of the train. So when this train moved, when it crossed into the forest jungle areas, what happened was the wild animals and the snakes just fled because of the terrible loud sound of the engine. Then they came to the forest. There elephants stood gazing with sad eyes at the train as it stopped. So here they came to the forest, and when they came to the forest, they could see the elephant just gazing. Gazing means what? Look steadily. So it was just looking like that with very sad eyes as the train passed by. At 12:30, the train stopped at Barmapur. Okay, so it stopped there. The travelers made a hasty, quick breakfast they had and started off for a Surk. They started to another place after their breakfast. Now they travelled along the banks of the small river Tapti, which empties into the Gulf of Cambay near Surat. So now all the way they travelled and they crossed the forest. Now 12:30. Okay, what they did? They reached another place that was Berhampur. Then they had a breakfast there and started off again to Ashur Urk. They went to that place. When they traveled to that place, they had to cross river Tapti. So what happened was, this river starts from there and where it ends is in Gulf of Cambrai, that is in Surat. Then towards evening, the train entered the valleys of the Satpur mountains, which separated the Khandesh from Bundelkhand. There was 3 in the morning. Then later, all this when it crossed, it crossed towards in the evening, it entered the valley of the another place that was Satpur mountains, and which separated the mountain Khandesh and Bundelkhand. Okay, Bundelkhand, it separated these 2 places. They came around morning 3 o'clock. So with this, the first section is over. Now it is a second section. You just turn to page number 82. Take turns and read these sections aloud. The train stopped. I told you, no? 3 o'clock in the morning, the train stopped. Train stopped, and now it was around 8 o'clock in the midst of the clearing some 15 miles beyond Rothal. That means what? The train stopped and now it is 8 o'clock in the midst of the clearing some 15 miles of Rothal, means open space in front. Clearing means open space in a forest for cultivation. Forest will be there. In that there will be an open space where they can do little bit of agriculture, where they can do little bit of cultivation. So that's what it is. Clearing spot, clearing place. That is the meaning. So here, where there were several bungalows, so when they came to this cultivating place, they could see lot of bungalows and workmen cabins. That means what? Lot of big houses, bungalows were there, and for all the workers, they had cabins. That means they had little rooms for them to stay there in the night. Understand? The conductor passing along the carriages shouted, "Passengers will get out here." Now, what the train conductor is saying is, come on, get down. Now you all are going to get down. This is the place, you all are going to get down. So the people who were in the train, Fogg, French attendant and Francis, they were so astonished. They were thrilled. They didn't know what to do. They were, and I think they might have been confused also. What is this? The train conductor is saying, come on, get on. This is what? The center of the forest where they do little bit of cultivation. In that place, this conductor is telling them to get down here. We could see only the bungalows and little bit of the little here and there workmen cabin, little bit houses, little one room for the workmen who are working there. For them the place is there, only that we are seeing. In the center of the forest, this conductor is making us to get down. They would have been in that thinking. Phileas Fogg looked at Sir Francis Cromarty for an explanation, but the general could not tell why was a halt in the midst of this forest of dates and thorny bushes, Aseka. Okay, so here what you see here is, so this Phileas Fogg, he looked at this friend And what he said here is, he just gives an explanation. Okay? What is this? I don't understand. Why did he halt here? Why did he stop here in the middle of the forest where the date palms are there? Dates you eat, no? It is very rich in iron. So it is in the center of this. And it is thorny bushes are there. Okay? Why it is in this place? They were so confused what is happening. Curious. Passer thought, rushed on and speedily returning crying, Monsieur, no railway. No railway here. So Monsieur means Mr. and Mrs. You call Mr. or Mrs. in French language. So he says here, there is nothing here. Okay? No place here, no more railways. Stopped. What do you mean? Asked Sir Francis. So Sir Francis is asking, what do you mean? Why are you rushing like that? This attendant is rushing and telling him. So he is saying, what do you mean? No railways? Nothing? You cannot go ahead? My goodness. I mean, the general at once stepped out while Phileas Fogg calmly followed him, and they proceeded together to the conductor. So they both, what they did is, they went to the conductor. How can you stop here in the middle of the forest? There is no more place, no railway station. Where are we? Asked Francis. At the helmet of Combe. Do we stop here? Certainly the railway isn't finished. No more railways. What? Not finished. No, there isn't a still matter of 50 miles to be laid from here to Allahabad, where the line begins after or again. So another 50 more kilometers are there, miles are there. So no more railways. So from Mumbai, we have come here. So we have to go to Allahabad. There is no more train means, no more railway track means, how can we go? But the papers announced the opening of the railway throughout. What can I tell you, officer? The papers were mistake. In the paper, in the newspaper, it is given, there is a train going. How can you say only in the half of the way you have stopped? Then he says, no, sir, there might be a mistake in printing the newspaper. That's what the conductor says. Yet, you sell tickets from Bombay to Calcutta, snapped Sir Francis, who was growing angrily. So he says, what is this? You are getting a ticket from us from Bombay to Calcutta, but you left us the half of the way. Is that fine? Is that true? He's just asking. No doubt, replied the conductor. But the passengers know that they must provide means of transportation for themselves from Kubi to Allahabad. So no doubt, sir, I know it is. But the passenger only should provide, okay? They should themselves provide from one place to another. From this railway station, they themselves should find another alternative things, and they should move to Allahabad. Sir Francis was very furious, very angry. He was extremely angry. Passepartout would willingly have knocked the conductor. He would have gone and knocked the conductor, given left and right. What is this? You got the ticket and you are leaving us in the half of the way. But somehow he saw Mr. Phileas Fogg and he just cooled down himself. Phileas Fogg, this is a delay greatly to a disadvantage. This is really a great disadvantage for us, and it is really lacking our time. We are really in a great delay. No, sir, Francis, it was foreseen. That means what? I think they might say like this, I already predicted like this. What? You mean the way? That means what? Before you knew this, there's going to be like this, and 50 kilometers we are not going by, we are going to go by train, and after that we are not going by train. So you already knew it or what? Not at all. But I knew that some obstacles or some other sooner or later arise on my route, nothing therefore it lost. Something or the obstacle, what? Obstacle means something or the difficulty we are going to face. That's what I guessed. I have 2 more days. I have 2 days. I have already gained to sacrifice. A steamer leaves Calcutta for Hong Kong at noon on the 25th. This is 22nd, and we shall reach Calcutta in time. So he says, I have 2 more days to reach what? I have to go to Calcutta by steamer. So there's another 2 more days. I think I will make it up. So from Calcutta, I have to go to Hong Kong. So I think I will make it up. So he just relaxed. Even though he was angry, he just relaxed with this. So with this, I just conclude my class. Half of your lesson is over. Section 3, we will see in the next class. Thank you, children.